different exercises or activities. Now let's zoom directly to the first one. The first one, the integers are ranging from negative. So those are the input values, and that is the rule, and we are required to find the output values. Same note, you are now going to use the first output value there, which is -6. And where there is n, we put -6 because n is -6 there. Now it means to get the y value there, which will correspond with a -6, you will have y is equal to -3 times -6, as reflected in the picture here. N is equal to -6, then y will be equal to -3 times -6. This emanates from the equation that we have, which is given to us. That is the rule. Remember, negative times negative is positive. And 3 times 6 gives you 18. So meaning that if n is -6, then y will be positive 18. And secondly, if n is equal to -5, then y will be equal to -3 times -5, which is 50, positive 50. N is -4, then y will be equal to -3 times -4, which is 12. Remember, negative times negative, positive. And lastly, if n is -3, then y will be positive 9, because you multiply -3 by -3 to get positive 9. So that will definitely be the first one here in this category. So you have 18 there, you have 15, 12, and 9. Those would be the output values. Those would be the output values. And the next one here, integers are ranging from -1 to 2. What does that mean? This means you have -1, 0, 1, and 2. So those are the integers. It's a set of negative and positive numbers. Now the integers run from -1, 0, 1, and 2. Again, if you want to find the values of y, meaning that if you want to find the output values, you will be able to substitute. For every value of n there, you need to substitute. If n is -1, y will be equal to -1 minus 6, which is -7. N is 0 there, y will be equal to 0 minus 6, which is -6. N is 1, y will be equal to 1 minus 6, which is -5. N is 2, y will be equal to 2 minus 4, which is 2 minus 6, which is -4. So basically, this is the structure that we have. We have the equation, which is y is equal to n minus 6. And for every value of n, you can just substitute. So the first one, as you can see, n is -1, y would be equal to -7. So that's if n is -1, y would be equal to -7. If n is 0, then y will be equal to -6. n is 1, then y is equal to 1 minus 6, which is negative 5. N is equal to 2, then y will be equal to 2 minus 6, which is negative 4. So basically, you have answered the question, which is question 2. And to find the third one there, you can see that the rational numbers are given, or rational numbers. Those are decimal fractions, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1. Now the rule is y is equal to 4n. We use this rule together with the input values in order to find the output values. How are we going to find the output values? So you have substitute the value of n here in this equation. N is 0.25. You will have 4 times 0.25, which is 4. Remember, 0.25 is the same as a quarter. Others call it 1 over 4. But that's a quarter. If you multiply 4 by a quarter, you get 1. The same as dividing 4 by 4. Of course, the second one there, you've got 0.5. If you multiply 4 by 0.5, same as multiplying 4 by half, you get 2. Next one there, multiply 4 by 0.75, you get 3. Lastly, 1 times 4 gives you. So as you can see in this particular solution, we have got y is equal to 4n. That's our equation, also known as the rule. Now, if n is 0.25, then y will be equal to 4 times 0.25. As I said, that gives you 1. Again, if n is 0.5, then y will be equal to 4 times 0.5, which is 2. If n is 0.75, then y will be equal to 4 times 0.75, which is 3. If n is 1, then y will be equal to 4 times 1, which is 4. So basically, we were able to now use the flow diagrams to find missing values of output. Always remember, when you are given input and the rule, you can find the output. We are still coming to a phase where you will be given the input and the output, and you will be required to find the rule. But at this point, you are given the rule, the input, as well as the rule, and you must be able to find the output. And remember that this can be represented also in table form. You can write this in table form, apart from this particular picture of a flow diagram. And we are going to take you now to the situation. All right, the last one was number 4, I think, yes. So straight on with the tables. Look at the flow diagram here. You've got the end values there, negative 0.3, negative 0.2, negative 0.1, and 0 there. So these values need to be substituted in this equation in order to find the output values. For instance, when n is negative 0.3, you will have y is equal to negative 0.3 plus 14.6. Of course, 14,6 minus 0,3. If you subtract that in your desk, you'll be able to tell that you get 14,3. That is your final answer there. So as you can see, if n is negative 0,3, then y is equal to negative 0,3 plus 14,6, which is 14,3. So you simply subtract 0,3 from 14,6. And you do the same. Find the values of y. So basically, that will be your flow diagram. That will be your flow diagram. Now, this is the same as the flow diagram. You have got the table as well. See that the table, the rule for finding y is this. Y is equal to half x plus 3. Find the values of y. Find the values of y for where you are given x values. So at times you may not be given a flow diagram, but you may be given something like this, a table. And this table here, you are given x values, and you need to find the y values. Now I'm going to find the values of y. You will use the values of x to find the values of y. The first one is here. You can see that x is 0. X is 0, what will be the value of y? Then we have worked it out as follows. We said, since y is equal to half x plus 3, this is the given equation. If x is 0, then where there is x, we put 0 there, like in this case. Half of 0 plus 3. And what is half of 0? That is 0. So multiply half by 0, you get 0. And 0 plus 3 also gives you 3. Because we are adding nothing to 3, therefore you have 3. Now, if x is 1, the value of x is 1, then you have y is equal to half of 1 plus 3. And half of 1 is the same as half, plus 3 is 3.5, or 3,5. So you have 3,5. But if x is 2, you have half of 2 plus 3, and half of 2 is 1, 1 plus 3 is 4. So therefore, if x is 2, y will be 4. If x is 4, again, you substitute the equation, half of 4 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 7. Sorry, 2 plus 3 is 5, sorry. Only 4 plus 3 is 7, but half of 4 is 2, and 2 plus 3 gives you 5. So you have 5 as the equation. And if x is 10, then you have half of 10 plus 3, which is half of 10 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So if x is 10, then y will be 8. And the last one, x is 100. So x 100 there, you have y is equal to half of 100 plus 3. And half of 100 is 60. And 60 plus 3 gives you 53. And that brings us to the end of the table, where you will be able to find the values of y using the available values of x. So you have used the input again, which is x values, to find the output, which is y values. The rule is the middle term there, or the middle picture, which is y is equal to half of x plus 3. And I believe that at this point, we should be able to find, or we should be able to use the rule to find any missing value or output. Let's go to the next exercise, We are given a formula here. Y is equal to 3x. And we need to find the value of y if the x values are given as follows here. So we have different values of x here. Can we use these values to find the y values? In other words, can we use these input values to find the output values? Using this rule, y is equal to 3x. Let me give you the hint. The hint for the first one is x is 0. And you are going to substitute it here. So y will be equal to 3 times 0. And what is 3 times 0? 0. So y will be 0 as well. And for the second one, if x is 1, then you'll have y is equal to 3 times 1, which is 3. So y is going to be equal to 3. X is 1. So can we find the other values? All of these values. If x is 2, what will be the value of y? You can tell me what will be the value of y if x is 2. In other words, where there is x, you're going to put 2. So what will be the value of y if x is 2? What will be the value of y? Yes, so that there was a hand. Let me see. Let's hand this up now. I don't know if it was Mufuri, but the hand has disappeared now. But the hand has disappeared. What will be the value of y if x is 2? What will be the value of y if x is 2? Remember, all that you need to do is just to substitute. Just to substitute, and then you'll be sorted. Right? This will be 3 times 2. If x is 2, then you'll have 3 times 2, which is 6. Then it means the value of y there will be 6. X is 4. What will be the value of y? If x is 4, what will be the y value there? Again, you multiply 3 by 4. So 3 times 4 will give you 12. So in other words, if x is equal to 4, then y will be equal to 12. Now let's go to 10. What will be the value of y? 10. Remember, the rule is given there, and we know that the rule is y is equal to 3x. That is the rule. How can we find the value of y if and only if x is 10? Who can attempt to find the y value when the x value is 10? Given the equation, y is equal to 3x. Yes, Amu? Let's go to Amu. Amu, I can't hear you. Can you carry on?
Sir.
Yes, Amu. You lose Amu there. All right, carry on, Amu.
Sir, I think it's 30.
30, yes, definitely. But how did you find 30?
By saying 3 times 10.
Exactly. So it will be 3 times 10. So 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 10, so the value of y will be 30. Now, if x is 50, what then will be the value of y? If x is 50, what then will be the value of y? Let's go to Sarah.
50. It will be 150.
150. And how did you find it?
50 times 3.
So can you hear me?
Times 3. So the value of y, which is the output value, will be 150. And that is because you multiply 50 by 3. Right. Now we have used the first equation there, which y 3x. Let's go to Azania.
Hello, sir.
We are
Can you hear
proceeding
me?
now- Yes, I can hear you. We are now proceeding to the second one.
So the
And
answer
can
is
you see the
13.
equation here? Y is equal to minus 3x.
But sir, can I
Answer is
do the
13.
last one?
Answer
Did we
is
do the
13.
last one?
Or do you want to do the last one? Yes, you can.
I think it's 300.
300. How did you find 300?
3 times 100.
Exactly. 3 times 100 to 300. I agree with you. The last one will be 300. And
Okay.
you have now been able to find the value of your output using the input values as well as the rule. What is important to know that you can use the rule as well as the input to find the output. Let's go to the next one there, where you've got y equals negative 3x plus 4. We are given the x values here. And I think for the purpose of this lesson, we must use the rule there to find the output. Let's find the output using the rule and then let's go to Tamo. Let's go to Tamo. All right, I will go to Sarah again. Sarah, hold on. Y is equal to negative 3x plus 4. And x is negative 3. What will be the value of y there? And you see the different now. It's no more the same as 3x. Sarah, are you still there? Let's go to Sarah. All right, we seem to have lost Sarah there. But nevertheless, we carry on. As you can see, the first one, this is the solution to the first one, the ones that you've answered. And of course, the one before that, which was y is equal to 3x. And now we need to use the second equation there, which is now our rule to find the values of y. Now, when x is -3, you are simply going to substitute -3 here in this equation. So you will have -3 times -3. Remember, -3x there, it means you are multiplying. That's the product. That's the product. -3x, that's the product of -3 multiplied by x. So you have -3 times, because x is -3, it will be -3 times -3, which is +9. Of course, +9 plus 3 gives you 13. So 9 plus 3 would give you 9 plus 4, sorry, not 9 plus 3. 9 plus 4 will give you 13. So -3 times -3 is 9. 9 plus 4 gives you 13. And when x is -2, you will have -3 times -2, which is 6. And 6 plus 4 will give you 10. So I've worked out the first two for you. The first one here, -3 times -3 is 9, and 9 plus 4 is 13. The second one, x is -3, then you have -3 times, if x is -2, then you have -3 times -2, which is 6. And 6 plus 4 gives 10. So you have 10 in that. The value of 1. Then if x is -1, you have -3 times -1, which is +3, and +3 plus 4 gives you 7. Then of course, you do the same with 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So that will be -12, and -12 plus 4 will give you -8. And if x is 10, you have -3 times 10, which is -30. And -30 plus 4 is the same as 4 minus 30, which is -26. And the last, but not least, if x is 50, then you multiply 3 by 50 to get 150. That will be negative. So -3 multiplied by 50 gives us -150. If you add 4 there, you get -146. And the last one, which is 100, 100 times 3 is -300. So if you multiply -3 by 100, you get -300 plus 4, that will be -296. That will be your final answer there. And of course, this brings us to the end of our lesson in as far as this flow diagrams and the tables are concerned, where you look at the relationship between the input, the rule, and the output. Perhaps just to take you back again to wrap up the lesson, you will remember that we spoke about the input when we started this lesson, where you've got a set of values that are given, and you also have the rule in the form of the equation and the output. Remember that the output values depend on the input and the rule. So you can use the input values by substituting them in the rule find the output values. That is what you can do. You can use the input values in your rule to find the output values. Then the last one, as we move forward, we have actually carried on in a manner that is able to show that you can substitute all of these values, particularly in finding the output. So we've done the flow diagram, we've also done the table. So those are the two concepts that we've looked at today, both the flow diagram and the table using the input and the rule to find the output. So perhaps for your homework, you can look at the two tables there with the equations. Y is equal to 6x minus 15, y is equal to half x plus 6, and then you can find the y values. So use this particular table to find the missing values of y. So you have y is equal to 6x minus 15, and you are given the values of x. You need to find the values of y. The same note, the second one there, and until we meet again tomorrow, everyone to follow the links, which are very helpful as far as the flow diagrams are concerned. Let me take this opportunity to thank you once again for having been part of this lesson. You can reach us out on the Twitter account at Africa Teen Gigs, and of course also the Facebook account Africa Teen Gigs. And of course the lesson was brought to you by the Lockdown in School in partnership with the Sasol Foundation, our sponsors, together with the MS Zora. And of course I can see that some of you still wanted to check your homework there. It's still on the screen, and that is the last part that you can do. If you can take a picture there, just to be able to test yourself whether you have understood today's lesson. Until we meet again tomorrow, thank you very much indeed.